Hey, welcome to Legals and Biz with Riz, the podcast offering you business and legal tips without the boring legalese. I'm your host, Riz McDonald, and I'm here to answer your questions and offer general advice in the clearest way possible. So grab your beverage of choice, sit back, and get ready to build your empire with Find Legal. Welcome to episode 13 of Legals and Biz with Riz. Today, I'll be talking about all things legal for your photography business. So, hello, all you beautiful photo makers out there. We at Find love your work. Let's talk about it. Photography is an art, a beautiful, inspiring, feeling-making art, but it's also a business. We understand that with every click of the camera, there are legal obligations and steps that you as a photographer must be aware of before any of those photos see the light of day. As a legal company that works alongside creative entrepreneurs on the regular, we've chatted with a fair number of talented photographers and business owners along the way and realized that there are a handful of questions, legally speaking, that come up over and over again, namely about contracts, copyright, and how to protect your images. So, we at Find wanted to discuss a little bit about your legals relating to photography. Question 1. Do I own the copyright in my photographs? Short answer, for the most part, yes, with some exceptions. The longer answer, well, under the Copyright Act, copyright is a right that gives the owner of certain creative works, be they artistic, dramatic, literary, text, sound, recordings, and so on, the right to how it can be used, reproduced, or communicated. Legally speaking, in Australia, you do not need to register your work, in this case photos, in order to have them be covered under copyright law. As soon as the photo is snapped, it's copyrighted. Copyright basically means the photos are property of the owner of the copyright, as is the ability to reproduce, publish, communicate the work, or sell those photos. Get it? We know, law stuff, right? But take a breath and keep listening. This is important. A photographer almost always owns a copyright in the photographs they take, including derivative images, a fancy way of saying a new image created out of the original image. There are at least 4 situations you could find yourself in where they may not be yours under copyright law. There's always something, right? Number 1, if you're an employee of a business and you took photos on behalf of your employer. Number 2, if you've been hired as a contractor, chances are they've stuck you with a contract that states they own the copyright to cover their bases. Number 3, if you license or sell the rights to the images. Or 4, domestic, aka retail photography, for example, weddings, portraits, pets, etc. Basically personal use. So make sure your agreement with your client assigns ownership to you. Question 2, do I need a model release? If you're wanting to use any of your images that include models for commercial purposes like advertising or promoting your business, then you need a model release form. This fancy little number will cover your ass so you can maintain image rights and have full commercial release. Be clear about where any money made from the image goes, or if you're working with a minor, set out the terms for working together and ensure their guardian parent has consented on their behalf. The only thing a model release may not be able to do for you is set you up with a model who has very specific and complex compensation rights. For that, you need to connect with a lawyer. Question 3, how do I protect my images on social media? Look, there are a few ways you can keep your images protected on social media. So let's take a gander at that. 1, upload low-res images on socials only and specify that you have high-res images available for purchase, if that's the case, of course. 2, add a cheeky little watermark to the image. 3, throw on a copyright notice with your name in a place visible to any sneaky browser to show your image is protected by the Copyright Act. That's that cute little C in a circle symbol. It's not mandatory to do this, but it's helpful to let others know you own the copyright or that the image is copyrighted. And 4, make it super easy for people to reach out to you so people can simply ask permission to use or buy your photo. Question 4. What should I do if my images are used without my permission? Well, once you've cursed up a storm that someone had the audacity to steal your photograph and at the same time reveled in the fact that someone loved your work enough to steal it, there are a few things you can do. If they've used the image without permission or ownership of the work, or tried to pass it off as their own or used it for commercial purposes, you may have a legal leg to stand on, and we'd suggest you do the following. Contact the image lover and ask them to remove it, or depending on how you feel about the way they've used it, ask for proper attribution. 2, if the image lover has officially been put on your shit list and isn't replying or is giving you trouble, it's time to seek legal advice. Chat with a lawyer and figure out what legal principles you can use to secure a case against the infringer. 3, don't get angry and blast them on socials or via email. Make sure to take a calm and measured approach. Make sure you screenshot the infringement, and you don't want your words to come back and haunt you. We personally loved Netflix's approach to a breach of copyright, and we've added a link in the show notes. You're welcome. It's worth the click. Question 5. How do I protect my images on my website? Well, how dare someone copy and paste your well thought out creative photography that's on your website? Shaking your fist in the air. It's down and dirty and not fair. And you can do a few things to try and prevent it from happening. Number 1, copyright has you covered. Use that fancy little C in a circle with your business name and year, and that should hopefully make people think twice. Boom. Next. 2, Google Alerts. They can be set up in such a way that when an exact replica of your content appears online, you get a notification. From there, you can contact the copy paster. Thanks, Google. 3, watermarks are an option here as well, though having an image, however faint, isn't always ideal. 4, website T's and C's. You can use this awesome information as a way to tell people how they can and cannot use your site and the content that lives there. 5, you can disable right-click saving of images on your website. Question 6, should I trademark my business name? The short answer is yes. The longer answer is on our episode, How to Register a Trademark in Australia. The medium answer is we absolutely recommend trademarking your business name alongside your brand or even your logo. Registering a trademark will protect your business and is a great professional investment. Your brand identity is valuable. The last thing you want is someone to take your name or awesome new product out from under you. So get on it. Question 7, how do I license my images? Well, you can license your images in a couple of ways depending on what your aim is. If you want to share your images with your client but don't want a zillion copies made, or if they want any fancy sizes or reprints, you can secure a restricted use license. This could mean that reprints only go through you, or the client only has permission to have so many reprints made or enlarged. The specific use license offers very specific uses for the photos. Maybe they're for a brand's business cards only, or on a t-shirt made for a specific company. You get the idea. So have a think before you click and give those photos away so you know exactly how they'll be used and you can keep them protected. As a bonus, we have added a link to our show notes for a free checklist on licensing basics. Question 8. Do I need insurance to run my photography business? Yes, you do. If you're running a business, photography or otherwise, you want to be insured. As a photographer, you want to protect yourself. There are a few types of insurance options available to help you do just that. Number 1, public liability. This is business insurance, no-brainer. It protects you from damages or injury caused to third parties. So if someone knocks over a decorative ladder and a planter lands on their head during the shoot in your studio, your ass is protected. 2, professional indemnity. If a client comes back completely unhappy with how long it's taking you to get their photos back to them, this is where a contract comes in handy too. Or they really don't like their images and claim you've ruined their wedding memories. This kind of insurance protects you from Bridezilla, clients who don't like your artistic vision. Look, we jest, but it happens. Not everyone jives all of the time. Protect yourself. Equipment insurance. We probably don't have to explain this one. You know, the cameras, lights, lenses, your business lifeblood. Question 9, should I have a contract with my clients? Yes, hands down. Securing a contract with your clients will ensure that you get paid on time, will protect your intellectual property, that's fancy speak for the photos you took for them, set out timing for post-production and turnarounds on your terms, and cover you if they cancel last minute, amongst other important things. This also goes for contracts with models, not just clients you shoot for. You want to stay protected. Your business is the bomb, and you shouldn't let anyone mess with that. Question 10. Do I need any other documents? If you have a website, make sure you have some standard terms and conditions there too. It's important that your future clients know what to expect from you, and also to protect your website and the content on your website. If you take bookings online or obtain any personal information, you should also consider privacy policy. As we've said before, if you use models, make sure to have a model release. So to recap the kind of documents you should think about, there's the photographer agreement, website terms and conditions, disclaimer, privacy policy, cease and desist letter, model release, and possibly a licensing agreement depending on the relationship. We hope this episode for your legal questions has been handy. If there's something in this episode that's missing for you and you need some more answers, we're all ears. Law geeks, remember? So hit us up. Happy snapping. Well, that's it for this episode of Legals and Biz with Riz. As always, thanks for listening. If you like this episode, raise a glass and show us some love by subscribing. And if you're feeling extra jazzed, we'd love a little review. If there are any topics you'd like to hear about, shoot us a message and we'll get on it. Till next time, this is Riz, a Found Legal, signing off.